give a damn what beliefs you subscribe to in your private time. You will not force dangerous beliefs and agendas upon the younger generation of girls, people in general, who currently don't really have that much of a direction in life just yet. Getting married doesn't suddenly mean you surrender your autonomy to the person you said, I do to. It's a marriage. You're not going to cash converters and buying a PSP and signing it over and being like, okay, yep, that's mine. It's not a dad signing his daughter over as if she's property. It's not even a man taking control of his newfound property. It is agreeing to come together, form yourselves as a union, spend the rest of your lives together respectively, if that is so what you two want to do. It has nothing to do with one handing their body over to somebody else because he's a man. Well, here we go.
My future husband owns me and my body.
Ah, yes, viewing your own body as property because the book said so. It's tradition. People back in the day used to do it. Yeah, and look where that got them. Marital rape was something that was very much normalized pre-1900s and didn't really become unlawful until the women's rights movement. Going back as far as to the 1700s, a book titled The History of the Pleas of the Crown by Sir Matthew Hale, a barrister, describes his rather troubling view on marital rape. The husband cannot be guilty of a rape committed by himself upon his lawful wife, for by their mutual consent and contract the wife hath given up herself in this kind unto her husband, which she cannot retract. Absolutely disgusting, and it's one of the biggest reasons that I personally believe that just because there was this view and this moral compass that was upheld way back when, and it was so popular, like literally everybody apparently believed it, doesn't mean it's correct nor morally correct either. I really don't care what kind of shit this gets me in. I don't care what your book says, I don't! Nobody's body is owned by another person. What we're gonna see later in today's video is that women's bodies are compared to that of children's. Parents hold the authority over their child to make informed decisions that best suit that child. With an adult woman, that's up to her. Yeah, there's no authority there. There's no saying, no, you can't wear that when you go out. Marriage isn't suddenly signing your rights over it. Therefore, you are property, not worthy as a respectable human being like your man husband is. Rather, it is everything but that. Why is it never men saying, my future wife owns me and my body? Why is it never men subscribing to such an oppressive belief system? I think that women like this should believe in themselves a little bit more than acting as an object for her husband to play with. This kind of mindset implies that consent doesn't matter in a marriage because that's your husband. You've essentially given up saying the word no in any instance. And you want to know what that kind of mindset encourages as well? Abuse. Rape. But because we got married to somebody, that suddenly means that they own us. Absolutely not. Like, catch me never getting married if that is the case. And furthermore, encouraging this mindset towards the younger generation of girls and women is so up.
You are not allowed to refuse to get physical with your spouse. And look, I do not have to get my wife's permission to get physical with her.
Because you have cretinous men hiding in the comments of these TikToks comparing a grown woman to a child. A child that, by the way, has pretty much no authority over themselves because they are a kid and they need to be kept safe. Just like your parents owned the responsibility of you as a child until you became an adult. But being an adult means that absolutely nobody has authority over your body. It doesn't matter how many times you want to dye your hair, get your body pierced, you want to wear that dress, or if you want to go the opposite route and you want to wear some slacks and a polo, up to you. That's your body. That's your choice. You're allowed to say no to whatever the you don't want inside your body, outside your body. And yeah, I'm going to be a little bit of a condescending bitch here because I genuinely cannot believe that people like this still exist. I am very much aware that the pendulum has swung completely the other way, so now like being a brain dead idiot is popular now. I get it. But you are better than this, and you don't have to hand over the control of what happens with your body to be loved by a man. If my partner expected me to hand over my consent for his love, I don't care. I'm running away in my demonias because what do you mean that I no longer get to have consent over pretty much anything because I'm married? No, that's not how it works. Nobody, and I mean nobody, not my parents, not my partner, nobody is going to tell my grown woman self how I should handle my body. So get
Number 2, consent doesn't exist in marriage. I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, but when you get married, your body belongs to your husband and your husband's body belongs to you. Two become one, body, mind, soul, and spirit.
This isn't real, like, period. So I'm You know, I actually feel quite sad for this woman after learning that she's only 19 years old. She met her current husband when she was 17 and he was 20. It was also said in an article from the New York Post that she hasn't always wanted to live a traditional life, yet here she is, just another trad wife on TikTok spewing her dangerous rhetoric. And it begs the question, are these actually the beliefs that she built up on her own? Or are they the beliefs of her current husband that have been planted inside of her as this is what's right and this is what's wrong? It's a bit different when you're 17 years old and you meet a 20-year-old. Those people are trying to already find somebody to possibly settle down with. None of this is to infantilize her or to minimize her belief system by saying that, you know, it could be fueled by her husband, but it is something to take into an account here, as consent does exist in a marriage, as just because both of you are wearing wedding rings and are fully committed to one another, you still need consent from your married partner if you want to have sex with them. They aren't just there for you to use and abuse just because you got married to them. That's not what marriage is. Consent is really important. It does not matter that you guys are married. There still needs to be that level of you respect them when they say no. Should he or she overrule your consent, you are well within your rights to do as you please. Whether you want to divorce them, whether you want to report them, that's up to you. I cannot stand this idea that just because you're married, it automatically means that every time your spouse wants to take it to the bedroom, you have to do it, regardless of how you're feeling, regardless if you want to have that day, you must do it because you're married to them. Because if you don't, they may be on the prowl and they may want to look for something else and their eyes are going to wander. Like, it is just it's such an icky conversation. But just to make it very clear, because I am seeing so many like freshly 18-year-olds just getting married all of a sudden. You do not owe your spouse. That is something that isn't required to give to somebody on a daily basis. If you don't want to do it, you do not have to. This shouldn't even be a controversial thing to say, but I know it's controversial to many, but being married isn't a pass to free, endless amounts of sex. Sex can be such an important part of so many people's marriages out there. For some people, it is the entire foundation for them. But that's completely different than overruling your spouse's consent because she's my wife. She should have to give it to me whenever I want it because, I mean, why else did we get married?
Therefore, chastity is reserved for fasting and prayer, not because you just don't feel like it. There are obviously many reasons why you should not deny each other as husband and wife, but women, specifically for your husband, when you continuously deny him, you are opening up that temptation for him to go elsewhere or to look at other things, okay? You two are one, body, mind, soul, and spirit.
Oh my God. Again, this is a really up way of looking at marriage. I do not believe in religion whatsoever because of my own personal reasons. I don't have to sit here and justify that to anybody. But I also respect the fact that so many people around the world are religious, practice religion, and follow whatever their book says. However, what I don't respect and what I don't like is when people try to push that belief onto other people. When you come onto TikTok and you start spewing that as quite literal gospel, because it isn't, I'm sorry. But I feel as though too many times I see people making this kind of argument because the book said so. I don't care what the book says because I don't follow that way of life and a lot of other people don't as well. It doesn't mean that people are in the wrong for that or they're going to burn in hell for eternity. No, it's simply just extremely outdated. You are allowed to not want to have sex for a period of time, regardless if you aren't fasting, regardless if you're not on prayer, you can deny sex at any point because you are the boss. You are the owner of your body. Now, does this mean that you should aim to be in a sexless marriage? Absolutely not, because cold hard truth, a lot of times it's not going to work out that way. But if women were made to feel a lot more comfortable saying no at times, to be quite honest, I think that there would be more sex in marriages. And I say that because everybody has a right to deny what they don't want to do in that moment. It is not selfish. It is simply just, hey, I don't want to have sex. I don't want to have sex right now. It doesn't mean that I don't love you any less. It is something where it's just like, no, there is no justification. There doesn't need to be a reason. And I really want to drill this into people's heads because I don't want people to fall for this type of propaganda. What I also cannot stand about this woman's TikTok, because you have autonomy over your own body, means that you should live in fear and be scared all the time that your husband is gonna let his eyes wander and he's gonna cheat and he's gonna have sex with somebody else behind your back.
If somebody cannot handle being told no for a couple of times, are they really the right person you want to be spending the rest of your life with? If I'm not up to having sex, I'm not a bad person for that. If you cannot respect me and my autonomy, then f off. I don't even know why this is such a huge debate because there are so many just like I'm gonna have to say dumb women on TikTok who are trying to brainwash the younger generation into having honestly quite a sad life. I think that goes without saying that constantly denying intimacy, whether that be kisses, cuddles, or even mattress action, is going to lead to an unhappy marriage, of course. And I wish people wouldn't conflate that with saying no to sex because you've had a long day at work, the kids are annoying, you haven't clean the house, you are not helping whatsoever, you're putting no effort in, and then you're like, why is my wife saying no? Look at yourself, look within, cunt. In a lot of cases, when people feel unloved, unworthy, unattractive, they do tend to cheat. That's not the only reason that people cheat, of course, but again, that has nothing to do with consent. Stop conflating the two, you dumb. I'm all his. He owns me. He controls what I do. He controls my every move. My body is his. He can do whatever he wants to me because he owns me. I'm his and only his.
This kind of shit can only work if he believes the same damn thing. Even though I think that this mindset is completely toxic, and I can't tell if this was posted by a 14-year-old sad XXXTentacion Bart Simpson edits TikTok account or a wannabe trad wife. You are not a dog, toddler, or animal wherein you need somebody else to have authority over your life for that very moment. But I am genuinely starting to wonder if this is a kink for the people whose TikToks I've spoken about in today's video, because I genuinely just cannot imagine why anybody would be anti-consent. And you can argue the fact that they didn't outright say it, but they kind of are when it's all about he owns me. You do not deny your husband's sex. Nobody owns you. Nobody should be given the right to control you. And confusing being committed with property ownership is honestly quite insane. These are insane people.
Do not deprive him of love, if you will. Do not do that, because men and women are different. We can go months without it. They cannot. And when they don't get it, they become feisty, they become angry, and then you get problems. Why would you deprive him? I never understand married women that deprive their husbands. Like, he's gonna go look somewhere else.
It really is always, what about his feelings? Well, what about ours? A lot of married women aren't, quote, depriving their husbands of mattress action. Marriage is a two-way street. It takes two to tangle, as so many of you have heard before. There is usually a reason why this kind of stuff starts to happen within a marriage. It could be for a plethora of reasons, okay? And something that I have seen a lot is because the husband starts putting in less effort. He's already got the prize now. He doesn't really need to work that hard for it anymore. So he stops doing the dishes. He leaves everything on the floor. Whenever he shaves, it's everywhere. And you've got to mother him. I can't imagine, you know, besides maybe some of the boy mums we've spoken about on TikTok before, I can't imagine people wanting to have sex with somebody that they're mothering. And it's also wild to assume that all women work the same and all women can go months on end without sex. And to assume that these women are holding sex hostage from their husbands is so disgusting, because you're trying to imply that you're somehow the better wife than these women who have marital issues. Good for you that you don't have any, and good for you that you love having sex, okay? You want to do it all the time. You don't really care. You know, it's probably not even about a consent factor for you. You probably genuinely enjoy it. And it is really exhausting to only be seen as a sex doll and not a married partner. Now, I'm not married. I'm only 23. Marriage, I'm not even there. But my entire point within this conversation is that you own your body. You have every right to say no if you are not feeling it that night. You do not solely exist for somebody else's pleasure just because you're married to them. If that person really wanted to have that much sex all the time, they would have stayed single and they would have gone on endless one-night stands. But they're not. They're married because they want something out of that marriage. Respect your spouses. That's all I'm saying. I really didn't know that I had to make this video today defending not only consent, but people's rights to their own bodies. Everyone that has been mentioned in today's video, I think, are idiots. Point blank period. So with all of that being said, everybody, thank you so much for slugging through this with me. I know it was quite a lot today. If you have anything that you're wanting to add to today's conversation, let me know down the comment section below or email me at dramakweensubmissions@gmail.com if you have your own story that you want to be heard. Thank you for your stay at Yappersville today, everybody. I hope to see you all again pretty damn soon. You want to watch so much Drama Queen. You want to watch all day. Take care of yourselves, and most of all, love your fucking selves.